Hey guys, welcome. We are looking at AlphaStar replays to start today's stream. Apparently it's in Diamond League in these ones, so this must have been early on in its ladder career when it was kind of working its way up. Just gonna get all my observing settings kind of nice here really quickly, as if I'm casting a game. And let's go in. So, AlphaStar was unleashed on the ladder for a limited, small set of games. It wasn't a lot. People who wanted to play against it, you actually had an option to opt in. It was only on the EU ladder, and you had to actually say, yeah, I'm happy to play a goddamned robot AI and have it steal my MMR. It just left it just left a hole in its wall. This is gonna break my brain watching the ridiculous stuff it's about to do, guys. So, this is AlphaStar, this barcode. It was identified, people saw it, it had 50 games with each race, or there were 3 different accounts, one with each race. And it played kind of weird. A patrol path. Why would an AI do a patrol path? I mean, okay, so the reason it does a lot of strange things is, okay. Because it does learn, it is not completely self-learning. It is guided learning as well, okay guys? So it does emulate things it's seen from replays of humans, right? That's how it initially gets an idea, and it's also being guided towards certain goals where they're like, hey, winning the game gives you points, but also you get points for achieving this thing and this thing. So basically they've incentivized it to do certain things, because Starcraft is a game where, yeah, you win by eliminating all the enemy buildings, but there's no actual replays where that happens of humans, because everyone capitulates when they know they're dead, well before then. So the thing is, this AI, it needs thousands and thousands of replays watching, seeing people basically killing all of the enemy's buildings to get an idea of how to get to that scenario. Has no replays of that to look at, right? Because no human ever gets to that point. So it can't understand how to win and how to do the right things. And like when they first unleashed it on the ladder, it was like worker rushing every game. And oh, not the ladder, but in practice games against itself, it would just worker rush itself every game. And like they ran into all these issues because StarCraft is such a complex game and there's so many different things going on in it. I mean, it's fascinating. You guys should go and definitely look up all the discussions when they did the demonstration matches a few months back with TLO and Mana. Of course, some of the big problems the community was not happy about. Oh, a bit of a 23 supply block. Jeez. I've heard it gets supply blocked a lot. This is my first time looking at the games. But yeah, it does a bit of imitation learning. It does a bit of incentivized learning. And then it kind of does the machine learning on top of that, right? I'm not a technical AI person, so I'm sure I'm gonna have people telling me I'm using the wrong terms, yada yada. I'm obviously just gonna focus on the games and how it plays, and we're gonna talk about that. But basically, I just want to kind of give a little bit of a groundwork. Go check out the conversations they had, obviously, with Artosis and Rotterdam when it played against TLO and Mana. One of the big problems everyone had is it played inhumanly fast. It had a crazy ability to just spam down actions. Oh my god, it pulled a mule off. Oh, quick rewind, guys. So I don't care about casting these games. I care about the details. Look at this. That's very cool that it's learnt this trick. So check this out. So when a mule, you'll see very tip-top Terrans do this. You don't notice it as much in Legacy, I guess, because it's faster paced. Basically, it will expire after mining 25 minerals and then not having time to return it. So what you want to do is, rather than letting it steal 25 minerals and then you not even getting to harvest it and it dying on the return trip, pull the mule off just a few seconds before it finishes. You know what's funny? I actually think it might have had time. It's still got 4 seconds left to get that trip back to the command center. I think it pulled that off too early. I'm like, AlphaStar, did you pull that off too early? I think I had 5 seconds from when it started mining. How long does it normally take for a full trip? Okay, so I'm gonna time this out real quick. This is such a dumb nerdy thing, but I'm so curious. So guys, we're gonna time it out. It's not gonna be exact, but basically check it. So we're at 2:30. It's gonna just about to tick 2:35 as it starts mining. Okay, so in 4 seconds, by 2:39, will it get it back? 38. No, it was absolutely correct to pull that off. Good to know. So that actually does stop you losing 25 minerals. So good shit. That's awesome to see that it's learnt that trick. I don't know how the hell it learnt that trick. I guess it figured it out on its own, maybe. I don't know. I mean, surely that's something it copied off someone after seeing a pro replay. But Loco beat AlphaStar and ZVT, says Sneaky Snake. That's nice. Did he actually though? I haven't looked through all the replays. It played 50 games as Zerg, 50 games as Terran, 50 games as Protoss. And apparently it made it to about 5.4, 5.5k MMR. So it absolutely would have gone through Diamond, through Masters. Loco's normally around, what, 5100? I haven't watched a lot of Loco's ladder lately, guys, so I imagine he actually would have played against it. AlphaStar's Terran was pretty bad compared to Zerg, and its Protoss was the best, says Rashmidon. He actually did beat it? Oh, that's awesome. Has he put the game? Surely he's put the game up then, right? Hey, Tommy, what's up, dude? Does the bot play billions of games versus itself like the Dota bots? Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Absolutely. It plays against itself. But it has to start getting some idea how to play the game by first having replays put into it. And then it plays, I think you said thousands? I think it's like millions and millions of games versus itself. Like, it plays an insane amount of games. Like, if they leave like the engine running for like a week, it can do like 500,000 games versus itself or something, because it just kind of smashes through the API. It doesn't actually have to wait 20 minutes to play a game, right? It just smashes through the sequences of everything, which is cool, which is very cool. So anyway, let's talk about what it's doing, guys, and actually break down the ridiculous plays. It just took an insanely fast gas and is deciding to long distance mine. By the way, heads up, guys, and it's supply blocked again, by the way. I'm going to be so critical of this. It's already down 6 workers, and it's doing no scouting. It still hasn't learned how to scout. As impressed as I am with AlphaStar's ability to figure it out, I think all the impressive things about AlphaStar so far, and I feel like I am going to be pretty negative today, so keep your eyes open. And don't be like, oh, pig, but it's still so amazing. Okay, what's amazing about what it's done is that Starcraft is like, you look at chess, you look at Go, it's a board, there's a very finite number of physical moves in any situation. And now obviously that can extrapolate into thousands of different situations. Just flew its Banshee into the turret after knowing the turret was there. That's interesting. Even though that can extrapolate into thousands of different situations and almost unlimited, millions of different game scenarios, in StarCraft, there is like a factor of like 1 million on top of that 1 million situations, just due to the way the physical interface works. Like, this Hellion could move there, it could move there, it could move there, it could move there. Like, and the whole outcome of the game could change. So you see a lot more in a StarCraft game, the whole kind of butterfly effect sort of thing, right? Where it's like, hey, wait a second. If a Reaper moves on a slightly different path and again gets one more SCV kill at the start of the game, it results in a goddamn late game fight being completely different, right? If something moves slightly this way and that thing's slightly there, there's a lot of very interesting interactions that just add so many variables. So you've got just so many more variables with StarCraft. The win condition's a bit more convoluted. You've got 3 separate factions, so it's not mirrored units playing against mirrored units. I mean, the maps are different as well. That's huge. The maps being different. Like, the fact that the board changes every game, that's insane. So the blue player is the human, and yes, they've built a planetary fortress on their natural. So you can tell this is one of the early games of AlphaStar, because this is definitely like a Diamond League, probably low Diamond, I would imagine. I can't imagine you get to high Diamond massing Raven turret planetary fortress. This is basically the sort of Terran whose entire playstyle is to sit there and hope their opponent doesn't know how to play the game. No offense, it's so boring. Shout out to Ketrock, he's a streamer who does this every game. It used to be a bit more exciting when you had missiles that the Ravens could shoot. Ravens have almost no offensive abilities, they just have auto turrets. Basically, you're trying to just mass spellcasters and use the fact that Terran has the most defensive units in the game to win. Now, there's a very simple counter to this sort of play, and that is just macro up, take 10 bases, and then build late game units. And usually it's a very easy style to dismantle. Like right now, even you'd be like, oh, but it's planetaries and turrets everywhere. How do I break that? There's nothing else. Like this Terran player has gone Neo Steel upgrades. Nice little auto turret harass on the back. Does get a few SCVs. So good little harassment there. And it is looking for more of this harassment with its own ravens. It's funny that it's actually built quite a few ravens as well, hey. But you could just stim a bio army and snipe a planetary. Like there aren't even tanks here. So this is not exactly the peak of challenge. I'm hoping we do get a few replays versus higher level opponents. I also really wish we would see it scouting. So in this game, we didn't see it scout until the first Banshee went across the map at like 8 minutes after it sat at home for ages. And that to me is the big disappointing factor with AlphaStar and its AI is it doesn't know how to read information yet, or it doesn't see that there's any advantage from scouting. Like it's it's playing on a pretty basic level in that regards. Now, in the past matches, it was inhumanly fast, and I have heard they've put more restrictions on it before it's gone on ladder that's made it play a bit slower. They've put more APM restraints on it. It used to have APM restraints, but what they didn't realize is it was kind of spread over too big. So it was rationed to the point where you'd have like, okay, it wouldn't use a lot of APM for 20 seconds, and then in the last 5 seconds of that window, it would be able to just micro like 10 things at once, insanely inhuman speed, 1200 APM, controlling things across different screens as well. And you've got to remember that when the AI has 1200 APM, it is like 3000 human APM because it does not misclick, and there is only like whilst there is a delay between it selecting different things to try and emulate the time it takes a human, it's completely consistent, right? A lot of what happens with humans is you do a misclick and it throws you off, or you have to micro something, and depending on how they micro against you, you have to put more attention there and it starts to drain your attention from everywhere else. The AI doesn't really suffer from that at all. Its ability to handle multiple scenarios at once is absolutely insane, right? So attention is a resource, and its ability to just kind of deal with multiple things and move the physical units around within the situations it finds itself in, that is really what we're going to be looking at and going, wow, this is amazing. I very much doubt we're going to see any clever reactions, any super refined good build orders that are reactive. The build orders are going to be kind of in the realm of, hey, this is solid. This kind of just works a lot of the time. It covers us against a lot of options, but it would be so much better if we actually scouted and tailored the build, right? So I don't think it's going to be anywhere near pro play. I think it will be maybe within 1,000 MMR of pro play, tip-top pro play, but you know, we'll have to wait and see. Obviously that's my thoughts after the previous demonstration, and this is the very first replay I've opened and it hasn't scouted. So for now, it's running around a pack of Banshee Raven. It is building a ton of Marine tank. The Marines do not have upgrades, and it's still building unupgraded Marines with its mech army. It just had a bit of a spaz out. It keeps trying to run past these turrets, and it's very confused. And it's really struggling to find a way in here. It's like, dude, my plan is to fly mass Banshee in and harass you. It's gonna split a Raven off, interestingly. Now, the opponent is giving it all the time in the world, is now coming forward with auto turret harass. I mean, shout out to Butt. I hate this style so much, but shout out to Butt for being like, this is how I enjoy playing Starcraft. I build many walls, many planetaries. If there was a few siege tanks on the ground as well, this would not be as terrible a style. Like, the thing is, I feel like Butt could do this way better if Butt had just a few tanks spread around as well. As it is, like, at any point, I feel like the Marine tank army could push and kill this. The Banshees are trying to edge in here for AlphaStar. Does stop that turret building, but loses all the Banshees to the other turret. So, yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's 11 minutes. There's been almost no interaction between the players, and the opponent is nowhere near maxed, right? In this sort of game, you should have been maxed easily by 10 minutes. So yeah, AlphaStar is not really pushing its economy very far. It's up to 80 SCVs now, so it's good to see that it has gone to a very nice economy. Let's check its saturation. Sometimes it derps out on saturation. Let's see if it's fixed those issues. Where like previously it would just be like, I've got 8 dudes on one gas and no dudes on minerals or something like that. Or like, you know, a base would be oversaturated or something. So it's gonna start going around clearing up these widow mines everywhere. I think it's splitting really well against the widow mines, isn't it? Can we go to its camera? What happens when we're on its camera? I'm actually watching what it's selecting as well. I'm gonna remove my camera so you guys can see in a moment, because that's fascinating. Okay, so it's gonna run its massive unupgraded Marines to the left. Are they gonna run into a Widow Mine? They're gonna run into a Widow Mine. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, it did not split that. It did not split that. All right. Oh my god, it's gonna walk into a planetary. What are you doing? Mass unupgraded Marine. Okay, the tanks are trying to edge forward there. Auto turrets landing all over, but it's actually doing all right. Sorry, not it. The human player is actually killing a lot of tanks there with those ravens.
Our SCVs are under attack.
The human is beating it, man. It doesn't know how to play against Turtle Raven. This is amazing. It's just freaking out. Okay, it's gonna go harass. Widow Mines and turrets take it out. And it's trying to build Mass Raven Widow Mine. No, sorry, wrong production tab. Mass Viking tank. Okay, so it's building Vikings to counter the Ravens. Makes sense. About time it figured that one out. And it's just continuing to build tanks. So it seems to... The funny thing is there's no Hellbats with this mech. And you don't need Hellbats. So as a compositional adjustment, that's fantastic. The thing is, I wonder if it just always goes almost pure tank unupgraded Marine. This is like, hey, these shoot up as well as down. Let's do that. Yeah, we're gonna have to take a look at that. Is it? It has stopped building Marines. So AlphaStar stopped building Marines at this point. And it's like, leave me alone. It's changing its rally points to try and get the SCVs away from the incoming attack. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And yeah, it's trying to pull back weakened command centers. You can see it does shift between things very quickly. Like, it's pretty quick at giving these actions. It's very precise. Yeah, like just then it just grabbed an SCV, told it to continue building the command center that had been delayed. This is cool.
Are under attack.
Oh, I'm so fascinated. Wait, did it not repair that command center? That's burning? Oh no, it is. It's repairing it. Just one SCV.
Mineral field.
Oh my god. Did it just kill its own SCV? What just happened? Was that a Widow Mine? Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Did it just kill its own... No, okay, it was a Widow Mine running in there. Okay, I was like, why would it do that? That's crazy. Alright. Yeah, let's keep watching from its camera, because this is so weird, guys. No, I don't want my camera back on, guys, because in the bottom right, you can see what it's clicking on at any moment. If you guys are ever watching a replay and then you click on things, all you'll see is that thing. But if you go to a player's camera, so I'm on the camera, and then you press escape, it goes back to what they're selecting in real time. So I want to show that so you guys can actually see exactly what it's got. It's up to 92, it was 93 SCVs a second ago, it just lost them. And it's just going to keep expanding around the map. It's actually going to scan the enemy's base. Huh. That's cool. Checks the enemy production. It's like, let's mass missile turrets. My opponent's massing in, but it's built a lot of Vikings against pure Raven Widow Mine. Now, as long as it avoids the Widow Mines with its Ravens, that's going to be good. And oh gosh, it's going to land Vikings to kill a planetary. I mean, it works, I guess. Yeah, there's nothing else there, so that's acceptable. It does take a Widow Mine shot on the arse at the same time. Sorry, I accidentally slowed that down to below actual game speed. Oh, go micro your Vikings. Okay, there we go. It's going to stutter step its Vikings away. Lost a lot to auto turrets there. But, you know, good enough reactions. Yeah. So the Ravens jumped on top, did an anti-armor, and dropped turrets on it. But, yeah, as long as it stutter steps these Vikings out of range of the auto turrets, they're basically just going to take out a few Ravens every engage. And those Ravens are kind of like almost the income of butt. So that'll work out. The production tab interests me, and it's just tanks, Vikings, and occasional Banshees. So isn't that funny? It's like, people are always like, man, you just can't break tank lines in TVT. And it's like really literally taking that. Whereas we would normally see players definitely swap into air later on. But there's just normally more Hellion harassment and maybe a Thor mixed in for splashdown. Thors are amazing against Ravens, by the way. Like a single Thor would be great. Ooh, cops a big Widow Mine shot to the face. Another big Widow Mine shot. It's actually taking a lot of damage to these Widow Mines because of its APM restraints. They've done a much better job of making it more realistic, guys. That's actually really cool. Oh, ow. Awesome. I remember previously, by the way, guys, you know how you can see invisible units? they had previously made it so, well, the problem with it with an AI is obviously it would either always automatically notice the blur of an invisible unit without having detection, or not be able to see that blur at all. Whereas with humans, it's always like a bit chance-based. Will you notice the blur of a ghost sneaking into your base or a Dark Templar sneaking into your base? But with the AI, they were like, well, we either make it recognize that every time, which is super unfair, or not at all, which is unfair against it, right? I love to see that it's a friggin' pleb who just walled its tanks in its base. Did it just go full, Gold League Terran? Oh my god, and it just tried to blast its own building and it's still stuck in the main. It lifted that off, killed the tech lab, and then walled it back in. Oh my god. It really has learnt from human play, hasn't it? Look at this ugly piece of shit of a base, by the way. Look at this depot and this turret just ruining the base location. Oh my god. God damn, man. I say Gold League, let's be real. That's a GM move. We've seen TY do that. Wasn't it the game I was casting of TY recently against a laser or something? And from Home Story Cup? Oh my god, it's like trying to save its buildings again. Oh my god, it just... Oh my god, it's walking into a planetary... Oh my god. If he drops auto turrets quickly, there's so many of these Vikings should be going down. Yeah, they're flying over turrets and stuff right now. This is like so inefficient. Look at the cost efficiency, guys. It is... Oh my lord. AlphaStar is alpha confused right now about how to play. It's like, dude, this guy's not trying to win. He's just sitting there building turrets and Widow Mines and Ravens. I don't... I don't even know. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen. This is great. The funny thing is, it looks a lot like most ladder players when they're playing against this style. Because most people, when they play against what they... You know, this is the ultimate Turtle Terran style, right? Most people complain about Turtle Terran. It's literally just any Terran build that has a siege tank on the high ground of their base. And they're like, it's a Turtle Terran build. But in this case, this is actually like the most Turtle Terran build. It's where the Terran just wants to sit in his shell and wait you out, right? The funny thing is, most players just fall apart against this. But at some point, they headbutt their whole army and die. Whereas it's kind of like, it sees a planetary, it tries to kill it. Oh, there's Ravens behind me. Let's run away from the Ravens. Like, the only reason it threw its army away is because it was cornered, right? Otherwise, it's very patient. I'm gonna go ahead and say it has no business winning this game, guys. Let's fast forward and see if it does anything different. It's adding upgrades, it's got tanks, it's got banshees. Now, the opponent is still just like, I'm gonna mass Ravens, which is a terrible way to finish a game, and just a terribly boring playstyle to begin with. But it can be efficient. Just using these auto turrets. Free units, Terran free units. You know, everyone complains about free units. Well, auto turrets, they're free units. They're great. They just take 45 minutes to win a game. So I'm gonna actually mute the audio temporarily because when we 8x speed, all the audio is gonna stack up on top of each other. So we're gonna try and fast forward and see like what's the solution, AlphaStar. Obviously, it didn't win every game or anything like that, but it's like I'm just gonna build more Banshees, Vikings, tanks. It really, like, it's done nothing to kind of gain advantage. It hasn't been splitting its army up to harass. No, like, Hellions or individual, like, little bits of harassment here or there. So, nothing particularly impressive. I do like the way it's moving around. The way it's controlling its units, you know? It seems to have worked out some fundamental... Oh, my God. This guy's a legend. Oh, it's just got these cheeky Widow Mines everywhere. This is hilarious. So anyway, all right, I'm gonna put it back on its camera for a sec. We'll put the sound back on. Let's take a read at chat. Why is it floating a starport to the corner of the map? You're kidding me.
Ready to blunder.
Apparently it wants to build Banshees in the corner of the map. What? Your guess is as good as mine, man. Oh my god, a bit too slow to repair. That's crazy. What? There's a city in Montana called Montana, pronounced Butte. Butte? Really? Do people in Montana not speak English? Best friend forever? What? I mean, there's some ridiculous pronunciations of English words, but that one might just take the cake, mate. You think this name is pronounced Butte? Oh my lord. It's so hard that being Terran that not even the smartest machine can play it. Well, not when it's playing a Terran player who covers the map in widow mines and turrets, apparently. Hot damn. Yeah, so back on that invisible units point, it seems to not be able to notice those widow mines ahead of time. It doesn't. It just seems to walk into them a lot. So it seems like they've made it so it only notices invisible units when they attack it, or when it actually has detection over them, which is cool. What's AlphaStar's APM, people are saying? So it's at 194 average APM. So it's pretty damn high, guys. That's pretty damn high with how accurate it is. It's blocking its own command center with one of its own widow mines right now. It tried to land it, and the widow mines are blocking it, and it's getting confused, so it's gonna land it there. Now it's moving the widow. Oh my god, it keeps taking these shots, and it can't scan because it just lifted off its orbital. It's just getting thrashed by widow mines right now. This is hilarious. Oh my god. So, I mean, this is one of those things as well, right? Where, with that whole invisible discussion, maybe just hitting it with DTs, or especially something as powerful one-shotty as widow mines, maybe that's the way to just dismantle it. And it's not adding ravens, right? It used ravens for harassment, but I don't think it really thinks of ravens as a detection tool for later in the game. Because having some ravens with its army would really help. But these widow mines, look at this, like it's taking massive shots constantly. AlphaStar is getting punched in the, oh my god, punched in the face right now. I mean, those ravens, at any point you lose all those ravens, you've only got enough gas to rebuild 30 of them, guys, so Butt's almost dead. Okay, and I didn't save the rest of chat because I am looking at it in OBS. Right. Did the tanks come out? So those tanks are still trapped, guys. No, they're still trapped. It can't figure out how to get them out of its base. It really is not that bright. I mean, this base layout is just disgusting. Can't believe the AI didn't learn how to build neat rows, man. They should have only fed it innovation replays so it actually played properly. I feel like it would be a better player if they'd only fed it innovation replays initially. This base layout looks like shit. It's so gross. You guys see me coaching people, it's like one of the biggest things I always go on about. It's crazy. Montana. You're from that region? It's Butte. I'm going down to Butte over the weekend. Butte's bank is downright disgusting right now. It is, isn't it? It is. Let's wow. I'm gonna go through and watch a lot of games. I'm just kind of starting out the stream with a very slow. This just happened to be the first replay I opened. I mean, nukes is the easiest way to beat this style. Absolutely. Oh yeah, you start doing nukes in all over the map. It's the easiest way to beat this style, guys. We're on Butte's camera, by the way. Let's go back to AlphaStar's. AlphaStar's. Oh my god, the units lost tab is still just absolutely disgusting, guys. This is. Yeah. Okay. So I'm pretty sure AlphaStar dies. Let's just 8 times speed and see where this one goes. I just wanted to start off with a slow replay, and just kind of warm it up, chill. Talk about AlphaStar a little bit. Oh my god. He's just, yeah, AlphaStar's just gonna keep taking damage. Like, the Widow Mines, it just can't figure out how to deal with them. Like, it needs a Raven, and it needs to stop massing flying units and flying them out onto the map without looking ahead. So it's just having huge trouble. Like, it's trying to expand, but yeah, there's bases everywhere. Look, it just keeps flying into Widow Mines. Like, it sees a Widow Mine, walks into it. So it's just clearly unable. I think the Widow Mines are actually the main thing which is ruining. Like, it's doing okay against the Ravens in that it'll shoot, pull back, take a bit of damage, but that's acceptable. You're killing Ravens every time they fly in like that. The problem is that it just keeps flying into Widow Mines, and that's where obviously it's suffering. Now, there's actually not that many Ravens left right at this moment. I'll look at Butte, actually it even focus fires the SCVs. So like really experienced with this playstyle. And these Widow Mines just keep catching it. Yeah. It's struggling with Widow Mines. You guys play AlphaStar, spread Widow Mines all over the map. I think we can learn that from this replay. If Butte loses this game, it's gonna be the throw of the century, and I don't think it's possible. So shout out to Butte here. Apparently thought he was playing They Are Billions. Rather than Starcraft. But you know, you can play this game however you want, guys. I dislike playing these styles because I think it relies so much on your opponent getting confused. But hey, it actually microed against the Widow Mines that time. Wow. It's got a Raven with its army now. Might even want to use that. It's going to try and siege Widow Mines in front of a planetary fortress. Oh god, it's brain broke. It's brain broke, guys. So, at what point... So, I'm curious, because it's going to have to GG, right? So, at some point, it's going to realize, wait, I have a like, 1% chance of winning from here. You know, let's leave. Just so that it didn't waste too much time in its games, I imagine, and waste its opponent's times as well. They just used 35 auto turrets to kill, like, 4 Widow Mines. Oh my lord. Rapid fire auto turrets. Reminds me of when they first changed the turret and Nate was doing his Tourette's syndrome build, as he called it. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Oh my god, just, oh, leave AlphaStar, you're getting slaughtered, dude. All right, so it's about to tap out. It's like, I have no army, I'm at 23 supply. Okay, so it really does wait till it's dead to leave the game, guys. GG. It's like, yeah, I thought you would leave a while ago. Units lost tab at the end of that game, by the way. Oh my god. It's not a quitter. It's not a quitter. GG. Wow. Wow. That's actually pretty funny. All right, let's see a Terran versus Zerg. Apparently, its Terran was the weakest, guys. Apparently, it couldn't really play Terran as well. Apparently, its Protoss was the best. I advocate AI abuse by amassing Widow Mines. You know I do. You know I do. I like that it says "Good luck, have fun" with no space. It's weird. They taught it how to say "Good luck, have fun" and GG, and that's it. On Reddit, the speculation was also that AlphaStar wasn't trained against high-sec tracking, and it didn't know how to handle the extra range. Oh, on the missile turrets. Haha, yes, that's why it kept flying into the turrets. Okay, I get it. Thank you, undefined behavior. Yeah, because it kept walking into the missile turrets in that game. It was really, really kind of dumb, hey. Reaper looks like he got 2 Zergling kills. So standard Reaper opening, Hellion, Banshee. This is about as standard of a TVZ opening as you could do. I like it. So far, I don't think it's been supply blocked either. And that's like one of the big things I gotta keep my eyes on is like, can you not get supply blocked? You're an AI, please. Keep your SCV production consistent. That last game, the opening SCV production was appalling. I like how it only queues up in SCV as this one finishes, by the way. Watch the SCV production. Check this out, guys. Check it. Look. 0 overlap. Okay, well, that's because it queued it up late. God damn. But I don't think it ever overlaps. So it'll never queue the SCV ahead, and if it happens to be busy right at the end... Oh, no, it did. Okay, it queued it up half a second before. Never mind. It's all good. It's fine. So as a Terran, you don't want to overlap, right? You don't want to have units queued up as any race because it's wasted money technically, but you do it to make up for your limited APM at times. And it's good to see even it actually queued it up half a second early despite being a robot. So even it was making up for its APM. Beastie Cutie figured out it actually does have multiple good luck, have fun variations. Wow. What rank and division is it in? So I believe it's done playing for now, guys. It played 50 games of each race. If anyone actually knows the MMRs, can you guys please link it up? The account profiles, we'll look at it. We'll show it after this game. So I believe someone said it was between 5.4 to 6k MMR with each race, but yeah, apparently it had like a 90% win rate with each race. Apparently it's 5.5 to 5.7k. Is its Terran really that level though? I mean, I guess it didn't know what it was doing in that last game, but it really felt. Oh my god, its micro was really bad there. That was not good micro on those Hellions, guys. I thought it would do better than that. So, okay, so in this scenario, let me tell you what you should do, and then let's talk about what it did, which was, and that might be due to its restraints that try to emulate human control, because that's a scenario where a human would be much faster. So, it goes for the run by. Why? Because it's seen no Zerglings. This is what you do as a Terran. Sometimes you just try to run past the queens, you say, no, you've been a greedy Zerg. I reckon you've only got like 4 or 6 lings back here. So I'm gonna run in and kill your drones. Queens aren't gonna be able to keep up, roast the natural, get in the main, etc, etc. But the moment you see these Zerglings, number one, you wanna run away. You wanna run south. You've taken a bit of queen damage, it's not great, but if you turn around, these lings are gonna clump up, and they already are quite clumped. If you want, you can focus fire the lings. You want to try and click on probably one of these central lings to make sure your Hellions, you don't want to A-move, or half of them will attack the queens, which is useless. Get that shot off, and then you want to immediately be spamming right-click back, so the moment they shoot, they start moving. Now watch what happens here. They keep moving forward, so it doesn't react super quickly. Now I think it focus fires. Maybe, but it's like, it shouldn't have even, like, with how slow it reacted, it shouldn't have even stopped to fire. It should have pulled back immediately. And then it tries to pull back, realize it's surrounded, and is like, oh, this is the actual most accessible escape route. Also, let's just click on the drones. And it takes one drone kill on the way out, which, I mean, that's making the best of a bad situation. Once again, though, I think it probably could have clicked on a different drone, and then it would have stacked all 3 shots. If it clicked on if it moved a bit deeper and clicked on one of the rear drones, because notice 2 of these drones took 2 Hellion shots, but the 3rd one didn't quite reach him. So a little bit sloppy there from AlphaStar, and that's also what we call a YOLO Hellion dive. You normally don't want to do that because the ability to poke around, keep that pressure up, it distracts your opponent while your Banshees or your Liberators come in. Now this Banshee here, trying to dance in and out of Spore range. Notice how the Spore, it does provide vision. Oh, it's... Wow, that's how I micro when I don't realize I'm playing US East and I keep accidentally pulling it back too early because I'm not accommodating to the lag enough. Okay, so like it's kind of doing the right idea with the micro here, but it's not executing it very well. And this one somehow is already out of cloak, which means it turned its cloak on way too early, I think. I'm not sure. So these Banshees are gonna float back in, but yeah, they're not really doing a lot. So not very impressive, but we'll see where it goes. It does not have double engineering bay yet. So it's gonna go second eBay now. It's got +1, it's got 3 barracks, tanks. It's still building Banshees. So this is a problem because it's already up to stim. It'll be at shields in a minute. You wanna have medevacs so you can start doing, you know, pushes and stuff. Go into 3 or 4 Banshees. It's a slightly different harassment pressure. Let's see how it goes with it. Is it gonna be able to just start picking off queens? I mean, all right, yeah, finds a new angle. It's good, I'm happy it found a new angle here. Hey, and it can take the queen out. Oh, slow pullback there by CSXO. Also, huge mistake by CSXO to not have overlords up here, especially when you know there's Banshees there. So that tells us this is not like a super high GM Zerg or anything like that. Like he's got 77 drones, he's had good macro, but I wouldn't say he's 6K. Definitely feels like he's much lower than that. And as we heard, the final MMR count is like 5.5 to 5.7K apparently on all races. So we really need to see the starport swap off and build a reactor. It's done that now. The Banshees haven't done a lot, but you know what? It's done such a better job of keeping up its SCV production. So you can see that it kind of was a bit more focused on building like lots of Reapers and Hellions and Banshees and Ravens and actually not keeping constant SCV production in that previous Terran versus Terran game. So maybe in that matchup it plays a bit scared, but here against Zerg, it seems to be very macro focused, like 75 SCVs, ultra defensive tank position, nothing covering the 3rd base, by the way. Is it gonna get its tanks wedged in its main? Okay, no, that's a backup tank. Please don't get your units trapped in your main. This is once again really bad base layout, guys. You don't wanna have your units not aligned. You want them in neat rows. So this starport being misaligned is bad, but also you normally don't want more than 3 in a row. So normally you'd have bam, bam, bam. You would leave a 2-space gap. That's what we call a tank alley. I just made that name up. You want a tank alley so your units can move around. So you leave a 2-space gap and then you go bam, bam, bam. Instead, there's an alley there that does not fit a tank, which means tanks will have to go like, and like if you accidentally build a depot or an eBay here or something, like they're gonna get locked in. So its base layout is a little bit inconsistent with Terran and a bit gross. I would be, if this was a student I was coaching, I'd be all over it. I'd be like, stop. Double drop in the main. Doesn't really do a lot. It's poking down the south. Now, it's playing Biotech, pure Biotech against a Hydra Bane player who it's given a lot of time. Oh my god, it stands its ground and tries to focus fire the Banelings. It did some nice micro, but holy crap. Oh my god, flashbacks of coaching sessions. It's like watching the decision making of someone who's watched way too much pro play, but like doesn't understand the situations of when to apply it. Like that was like, why would you be on the map with 30 Marines and 1 medevac at that point? It makes no sense. So it's just thrown away like so many units. It's incredibly inefficient, but it's got the macro behind it. And because this Zerg is just defending, like this Zerg really should be going straight to Broodlords, hitting a big Broodlord timing, And then I think we see the AlphaStar just die. But what is this fast hive for? We did not see a Spire. We've got a Zerg who's got great creep, good income. I mean, the income's actually not as big as it was before though, and it's doing a crazy attack here, which makes no sense. You gotta pull out. It's good if you pull back now and you just kill a lot of SCVs and withdraw because you've got an economy, but definitely stayed there way too long. So we've got 7 Vipers on the way, which is cute. So it seems like the hive is just there to blinding cloud the tanks. You can definitely do this with Hydra, Bane, Viper, but Broodlords would be a checkmate for sure. I feel like Vipers is like it's like a cool utility. You build 2 Vipers or something, but 7 Vipers seems like too many. So I think this Zerg player could definitely build the economy higher and give more space. Because this Terran economy is so much better for AlphaStar, it looks like it can take bad trades and still be okay. Now this time it makes more sense coming down here, guys. Perfectly placed scan, by the way. It knows exactly how deep those tumors could be based off the creep spread. And this time it's got enough medevacs that it can just pick up and leave. So let's see how quick it is. Oh. Yep, pick up, good micro. That was good micro by it, good enough. Oh, that's not good micro. The Hydras thankfully are feeling kind and they will let those 2 medevacs survive. Really? Really? And it's gonna go around the top and hunt down those Hydras. Hydras in the open on their own. Okay. And it's just doing the hot pickup. I like this, because this is something you see commonly in Terran play, right? Trying to clear up both sides of the map at once. Now this one's gonna go deeper for a bit more damage, and it's just sitting at home with tanks so it can't die, building up workers and doing the most like non-committal pressure ever. Besides the previous one where there wasn't enough medevacs, it's like I'll stim in, pick up, leave, stim in, pick up, leave. Now I wonder how it adjusts against Mutalisk play, because this would not work against someone who's got Mutas or Corruptors out. It works against Hydras because they can't keep up with the medevacs, right? Oh, it picks up and then drops beyond the Ling Bane, taking advantage of the lapse in attention. It's literally just winning with drops, oh my gosh. Okay, abducting those full medevacs, that's good. That's a real good move, but just low APM or low attention here for the Zerg player, who was just a little bit too slow to react and just took a lot of damage. Yeah, this is like, it's still not great strategy by any means from AlphaStar. For anyone who thinks there's going to be some game-breaking, you know, revolutions based on what you see in these games, like, please do not copy that. I saw a few people write up some of its builds on Reddit, and they were some of the worst build orders I've ever seen in my life. Like, there's little details you might want to steal from it, guys. Little details, but please do not try and copy how it plays. It's not going to go well for you on the ladder. Yeah, tries to fly through the Hydras to escape there. Not a great move. But Siestico is going to way overextend here. Take the base, run away would have been perfect, but because he's almost out of Banelings, if the Banelings hit the mineral line, like, it's not too bad, but he's going to throw his Vipers away. Oh no, it's his, oh, what are we doing? Get the Vipers out of there. He just lost like all of his gas units and kept all the SCVs alive. And hasn't rebuilt all of his drones behind it. Oh no. This is like, it's very simplistic play from it, and it's really just not doing anything special, so yeah, I'm surprised it made it to the level it did, to be honest. Oh, I like that. It's like a semi-drop to cancel that, but wants to still hit the main. This sort of marine drop is crazy though. Like this one where it's just, I'm just gonna run some marines across. I'm like, it's interesting because it's obviously gonna keep your opponent occupied, and it's kind of decided creating problems in multiple areas is the path to victory in this matchup. Because like, look, it's just like, let's just YOLO marines in from 2 sides, drop in the back, hit with a Liberator. And like, this is what I make fun of people of this sort of style, because I'm like, oh, this is how you get a free win versus me. Like any old man, anyone with shit mechanics is just gonna die to this, even though like if they positioned a bit better and they just react by splitting their units up, they could deal with this quite easily. But like, the Liberator barely survives on red hit points, redrops back into the main after the army goes back down. These marines are still taking stuff out, and like, so what we're seeing is a Zerg's inability to multitask, losing to a whole bunch of relatively low commitment pressure, and just 4,000 tanks on the backside being the, I can't die to anything, and then hopefully my opponent, I can drain them down over time and kind of wear them down. It's very good at continually expanding. So one of the funny things, right, is you're doing all these attacks, even though some of them are wasteful and some of them will get shut down, because it keeps expanding behind it, and it's always got the strong defensive units on the back end. Like, it seems very tank focused, both TVT and TVZ. It's like, this unit keeps me alive, right? And that seems to work out okay now. It just force fielded its Marines at the front of its army by sieging those tanks up there. And actually a lot of them made it to safety, but nonetheless, that was a pretty terrible siege up. So that was really funny. Good to see it makes that mistake. Yeah, this is what I call the get fucked Marines. The final tank that sieges here is the absolute douchebag. So check this out. This is like, it's really nice to actually use your tanks as a little bit of a wall against Hydra Bane, and you pull your Marines just behind them so that you're gunning down most of the Banelings just before they hit the tanks, but your Marines are safe. But check it out. If this tank here doesn't siege and just moves north, they've got like a nice thick alleyway to all run through. Instead, all 4 of these tanks siege up at the same time, as well as that one. It creates a solid wall. There is a single space like gap there, which one Marine can get through at a time. They're all like, what? We were about to evacuate through there, dude. What the hell? And the blinding cloud goes down, so the tanks aren't even firing. The Marines are like, ah! Terrible siege up. Terrible siege up. But Bio, yeah, Marine tank lib, obviously needing libs to deal with ultras at this point. So, and there are some players who will just play bio like Marine tank lib all game long. Marines shreddling Bane Hydra as long as they don't take the big Bane hits. Tanks do good against the clump Banes, libs deal with ultras and are generally a good unit. So it's kind of cool, I mean, this game's going really close. So AlphaStar's stopped building extra economy. After losing this base, it's like, dude, I don't even have enough mineral patches to mine from. Yeah, it does have a few more up there. Interestingly, it hasn't floated the main. So I wonder at what point does it do that? Right now, like we've got the Zerg attacking, it's gonna run SCVs, try and fight there, but the main continuing to do these double drops, which are really doing big damage. Gets the hatchery, focus fires it. Now the main base is out. Does it wait for every single mineral? Because that's a waste. It should really be floating this command center down. I think it's gonna wait for every single mineral. And maybe that's just its general rule, is like, do not float that till everything is done. So once again, another non-committal pressure. Problem is, guys, that's more than 24 Marines, right? Yeah, I mean, if that 4th medevac hurries up, you can evac. But like, the funny thing is, it's very slow to start a step. It always just stands its ground, fires, and then waits for the medevacs to get there. And it definitely plays very close to the wire, where I think it would lose a lot of these dudes a lot of the time. Like even there, losing a full medevac's pretty rough, but this Zerg player has shown that they're not as consistent with splitting up these drop defense squads as you would like them to be. And yeah, hasn't really been able to capitalize. I think this Zerg was like, why is this Terran just sitting there and not trying to finish the game? So AlphaStar is just gonna, I mean, no, stop it. Okay, this one makes no sense, right? If you're doing that at the same time as other things, it's good. But it also tried to clear the creep there rather than at the front. So I don't really know what that was. 2 Banshees. Randomly got some Banshees there. Liberator's getting abducted. Once again, tanks are always covering the natural, always in this ultra defensive setup, which definitely makes it, yeah, a real kill zone. So I reckon it probably wins a lot of games. Oh, that's great. I was about to say, it probably wins a lot of its games just from its opponents attacking into it and in bad positions, and the tank's just like, well, we won the game. That's fascinating. That's so fascinating. Now, I didn't actually get any Terran versus Protoss games. I got Protoss versus Terran replays. I didn't get any Terran versus Protoss, which I'm a bit sad about, because I would like to look at one of all 3 matchups. If anyone had the actual accounts of it, links, could you guys please post them again in chat? I would appreciate that, and that'd be great. So let's take a look here, guys. If you guys could post all 3 of them again, that would in chat, please do so. That'd be great. Do we know where it's based? I believe London is where the Deepmind offices are, so I imagine it runs out of there. I imagine it plays with a slight amount of ping. Yeah, I would imagine so. Probably like 40 ping, something like that. People are saying it might not know how to compensate for differing amounts of lag, so sometimes it might mess up some of those finer micro points. Yep. Oh, his name was Cookie was the guy there. Yeah, he said, I don't know how camping like this can pay off. That's why Broodlords are good, guys. Just go to Broodlords in late game. They're the best unit against Terran. They win the game. If they're going really heavy tank, make 8 Broodlords and enjoy your ladder points. Best friend forever said, I actually think this bot is showing how a lot of ladder players level out at high diamond. They know good builds and relatively clean timings, but the lack of awareness on the map is why they stagnate. I was talking about the previous game, but yeah. Yeah, maybe. I think there's a lot of different things, and it does vary player to player, but there's definitely like, yeah, there's some big trends where like a lot of players have a certain issue and that sort of thing. I see players like Hero Marine only control group the medevacs, and they use it to pick up units, and they don't touch the Marines. Should I be doing this? I always put them on the same hotkey. I put the Marines and the medevacs on the same hotkey. You sure they only have the medevacs on the hotkey? I mean, maybe. It's up to you. We're seeing two different methods of thinking at play here. We're talking about like the tanks camping at home and the Marines running all over the map, or the two different ones. Does it go for planetary fortresses or orbitals? Mostly orbitals, but I think it did make some planetaries as well, depending on the position. Yeah. All right, guys, let me get those links up and we can show you all. So we've got Protoss. Big thank you, guys, Scumbag Megumi. Absolute scumbag, linking up the account. So we've gone on the website, SC2 replay stats. So this is the Zerg account, Protoss account, sorry. 53 wins out of 60 games. 53 wins, 7 losses. Oh my. Where do we see the MMR of the player? Is there a... I'm not familiar with this site. There we go. 57. Okay, so this is its division. It is 5,700, 22 MMR on the EU ladder with an 88% win rate. Wow, I am keen to watch its Protoss, guys. That's epic. Okay, here's its Terran. 60 games, 52 wins, and yet it lost to the Mass Raven guy in Diamond League. That's amazing. And it did manage to get to 5,506 MMR with an 86.67% win rate. Wow, I'm surprised it's winning so many games. I think a lot of people just, don't know how to play against this very different style. And then we've got it's a BattleNet link. We don't have an SC2 replays link for the Zerg one. Okay, fair enough, it works. Zerg wins 53 out of 60, and can we see its MMR on this? I guess do we click that? Does that work? How do we see its? Sorry, I don't like stare at people's profiles. A lot of 1v1 players get very obsessed with like measuring their EPeen, as some call it. I don't really look through these things. I just look at the ladder. So I guess we go ladders. That's probably where it would be, Pig. Like if you had a brain, you'd probably like figure that out for yourself. But because you don't have a brain, can we click that, or yeah? It just goes back to the previous screen. God, I'm hopeless. All right, let's try that one more time. Any way to see the MMR? Because the MMR is what really interests me. I don't think so. Everyone's saying it's about 5.5k with Zerg as well, similar win rate. Oh no, people have said it's 5,717. It's actually even higher than its Protoss. All right, Zerg confirmed OP race. Good to know. All right, guys, we watched a couple of Terran games there. It looked really dumb against the Raven Widow mine. Against the Zerg player, still it kind of scouted with the Reaper Hellion pressure, but I don't think it's really scouting at all still in the early stages. I think it really only seems to respond compositionally to what's happening in the mid game. I'm not even sure if it responded to what that Zerg was doing at all. Let's take a look at its Protoss. I'm actually really curious to look at its Protoss. So let's start with a PVZ here, and let's swap to its Protoss for a couple games, and let's see. So this is back when it's in the Diamond League. It's one of its first matches. It's playing a Diamond Zerg. This should be an easy win for it, right? It's gonna go down and go for a very quick pylon on the low ground. Very standard sort of opening. Gonna go for a gateway. It is gonna gateway scout, so it is okay, good. I was like, if it doesn't scout and just like dies to a 12 pool, that'd be the best. Doesn't try to block the expansion, which is fair enough. It wants to see the gas, the pool, and it actually does the harassment on the minerals. Oh my lord, guys, it does the mineral harassment. So what this probe is doing is it's trying to occupy the mineral patch Only very high level Protoss players do this a lot usually. You see, starts mining it, so the drone bounces away just to mess up the mining, and then cancels it before actually harvesting the minerals. So you're gonna do it again, and this other drone is like, oi, let me mine. And he's like, yep, so these drones keep rocking up to the patch and getting bounced away. So cool to see, it's doing that. It's then gone a very standard follow-up. I say a very standard follow-up. What was a very standard follow-up until it decided to be a bit of a dummy. So it goes 20 Nexus, guys. That's very standard. This is a 5-minute game, by the way. This is gonna be exciting. So it goes a 5-minute Nexus, 20 Nexus, 20 core, and then normally you'd restart probe production straight away. But it starts as Zealot. Now I wonder if that's a reaction to seeing the fact that it was a pool before hatch, and it's decided build a Zealot there. So that might actually be a response to seeing this earlier pool. And then it goes second pylon before second gas, because obviously that Zealot supply box. So the funny thing here is you can delay that Zealot a lot. Notice how this Zealot's gonna be popping out when those lings are just leaving the base. So that could have been delayed 10 seconds easy, gone pylon, then Zealot, and would have allowed us to keep up more consistent probe production. Now what's fascinating here is we still don't have a second gas. And that second gas I thought was delayed because of the Zealot, meaning we wanted the pylon earlier. But now I'm looking at it and I'm going, okay, this is weird. Also, by the way, it did lose its probe on the way home. Those Zerglings managed to get it. The Adept's gonna go out, do a bit of pressure. Looks like it's focusing with its shade on hunting down the Zerglings, then going across the map. Its wall off is not a proper wall off yet, by the way. It is gonna chrono boost a second Adept, and it's even gonna send the Zealot for pressure. Okay, cool. And the Zerg's just like rushing a layer. Let's watch this Zerg die to 2 Adepts and a Zealot. This is gonna be the funniest thing we see today, guys. Zerg wants to go for a third base, but is also rushing a lair. So I think this might be the Nidus Zergling all in. This Overlord's gonna do a drop, or gonna just spot for a Nidus, and we're just gonna see non-stop Zerglings. These units are gonna get surrounded, and AlphaStar is gonna die if it doesn't recall really quickly. Oh man. Alright, gets 2 drones, and sees no more drones here. So as an intelligent Protoss player, at this point you go, this guy's all inning me. And you wall off, you build a shield battery. I mean, is microing pretty damn well here to actually take out as many units as possible. Sees the lair as well, by the way. Has full walled. And I think was actually full walling before even seeing that. Let's see, was that a reaction or was this always planned, right? Because I think that full wall goes down pre-seeing ling speed. Yeah, before even seeing ling speed. It's like, no, I full wall. I know how to survive ling floods. I just full wall off every game before ling speed can kick in. Ling speed off a gas pool kicks in at the same time that gateway goes down. I wonder if that's reactionary or if it goes for that gateway always at this time. I reckon it does it always. Oh, I wish I had like 60 PvZ replays to look at. We're gonna see if there's more PvZ replays. We're gonna download more and study that stuff, guys. I should have like a list of questions to investigate actually that I just kind of write down. You guys can kind of remind me of any of them. Anyways, it's going Robo. It's gonna make a Prism first in this scenario. That seems kind of crazy to me. I'd be making an Immortal straight away, but it's got enough gateways. It's already done some good damage. Opponent's gonna Nidus Worm in. It's not checking the corner of its main, which shows it doesn't understand what a fast lair could mean. No! Okay, it's gonna do a 4 Adept Prism Pressure with no scouting in the corner of the main. Is it gonna die to a Speedling all in, or is it just gonna micro well enough? Because there's just not that many Zerglings. This opening from Sundava was not particularly well executed, and the Nidus is pretty slow for the number of lings. So I think a quick recall. Okay, so Nidus Worm sound pops. Lings are in its main. It's gonna kill all the workers of the Zerg, but it's gonna lose everything at home. Zealot needs to get in a choke point. Doesn't know how to do that. Runs all these units away. Starts recalling the Adepts. Starts warping in more Adepts down there. Pulling the probes away, some of which are fighting. Probes are getting very confused. It's enough Adepts to just win the fight. It already took out a lot of drones, and it wins the game. Okay, cool. Yeah. It's fine. I mean, it was going to do a 4-gate, no upgrade Adept timing. I don't know, man. Watching the AI play, it's like... Do I have any other PvZ replays here? One sec. Here we go. Yeah, we got another PvZ. Let's load that up straight away and let's see if it does the same thing. So this second one is where we get to actually compare. Like, does it do the same thing every game in that matchup? It's a different map. It might play a different map completely differently. Let's see. Jaden, thank you so much for this 16-month resub. He says, oh no, I lost my 16-month streak. I agree. No, you didn't. It still says 16 months there, buddy. Plus, they are cumulative now. Enjoy. Thank you very much. Pumius and Musling, by the way. Sorry, guys, I didn't have my headset on, so I could not hear your lovely, lovely, lovely alerts there. There we go. They are on now. Thank you. Thank you so much for the support, guys. I really appreciate it. All right, so we're going to see an Adept here again. Second Adept pressure. So there was no Zealot this time. Was it a Gate Scout again? I think so. Yeah, so it looks like it Gate Scouted. It saw it was a hatch gas pool, and it does a different build order. So this might, and we see Stargate's going to go down. So it might actually just always prefer to play like this if it's not a pull before hatch from the Zerg, which is very cool. Wait. Oh, no, it's the Zerg. Sorry, guys. I'm an idiot. I was very confused there for a second. I was like, this seems odd that it would play like this. I need to download more replays. If anyone has a link to where all the replays are, please hit me up. Because I thought there were only these, and then some people said there were like 500 replays. GG's. Apparently every single replay is being put up. Is that true? Does anybody know? We're gonna look at some of its other games while we wait. Try to figure that one out. Because all I found was these ones from the Reddit thread. If you guys know, though, let me know. My man. Thank you, Melty, for linking up the Zerg one earlier. Appreciate that. Dr. Ryan said, you said for us not to use the builds that AlphaStar does. What are you trying to learn from watching it? Oh, nothing. I'm only doing this because you guys are interested in it. Nah, it's just curiosity. It's just to see where the robot's smart and where it's dumb, and to track its progress. Like, it's just, there's a lot of people think the robot's gonna like solve Starcraft, and I'm like, yeah, maybe at some point. A long time away from here. For now, you might learn a few little tidbits, but it's more about watching a baby learn how to walk, right? I don't look at a baby learn how to walk. Like if I look at a video of a Boston Dynamics robot trying to learn how to run or something, I'm not looking at that and saying it's gonna learn how to run better than me, I'm gonna copy it. I'm going, holy shit, how cool is this? The robot's learning how to run, right? It's just fascinating to see how it develops. Like, it's not about watching it and going like, like, we're gonna do things better by copying what the machine does. Like, no. It's like, how does the machine cope with the game? Because we cope with the game for our brains and our hands and our way of playing it. And as human as we try to make it, it does things its own way. Look at this shit show of a wall, guys. It has a gap there, and a gap there. I mean, it can seal some of these gaps, but it's basically like, please shade adepts into my base, which is fine. If you go like a real fast Stargate, keep adepts defensive, that sort of stuff, it's okay to let adepts in, as long as you're prepared for it. It's down 2 probes already. Because it's gone for that real fast nexus. So the opponent's going to scout this. Now, when I scout an opponent doing this sort of build, I just proxy a robo, make an immortal, a prism, 3 gateways, and I try to knock him out. It's going to be a double adept pressure to try and take advantage of that hole in the wall. Now, this probe scouting very late in the game from AlphaStar, it's going to come over here, and it's just going to come in, check around, and it should hide in the corner of the main, knowing these adepts are about to pop, or leave right now. You've got like 3 seconds to get out of this base, dude. Those adepts are about to finish. Times it out perfectly. If there were chrono boosts, it would have needed to leave earlier, but does time it out okay. Adepts checking for proxies. This is a man after my own heart. Now, you can defend this with AlphaStar's opening. Normally, you'd go a really quick robo, but a Void Ray can also cut it. A defensive Void Ray can be amazing. You need to micro like a boss, you need shield batteries, and you need to not make mistakes. Now, the problem is most players, when they try to do the fast expanded PvP, is they cannot handle the lack of scouting because they don't know if their opponent's going mega greedy or all-inning them, and they really struggle to defend perfectly. Like, even if they know an all-in's coming, they often die just from 1 or 2 small mistakes. This adept battle's amazing, by the way. It's going to be a trade. And, oh, it's actually a win there. I thought SLSRZ actually had the faster hit. Maybe, I think maybe interrupted the last attack by letting that shade finish. Should have canceled the shade. Guys, if you're ever in just a raw attack battle, don't let yourself shade mid-battle unless you really have to, because you can interrupt yourself mid-attack animation and slow it down. I could be wrong, but we'll see how that goes. So more adepts coming across here. Phoenix can obviously pick one of these up and disable it. I feel like Phoenix are normally a pretty bad choice in this scenario, but the fact that SL is going 4 adepts seems kind of crazy. Normally, you do not want to commit to a fight. As the offensive player, you just want to force units out, and you want to build up your advantage. So Stalkers and Immortals are going to come in now. And there's no Phoenix lifts, but there will be one for the Immortals soon. What Prism's on the way? And it's just, yeah, 3 Gateway Stalker, basically. And a Prism's being built. You don't want a Prism in this scenario, I don't think. I think you literally just want to make as many Stalkers as possible. So, because the economy is so high, I think AlphaStar's got this. Yeah. Let's see. Immortal needs to fight. Immortal needs to fight. Oh, maybe not. I was like, it's probably just gonna hold on because it can lose 10 probes and still be fine, right? But like, they're still fighting right now and they're achieving nothing. So, way overcommitted with the probe pool did AlphaStar. Shield battery's gonna go down. It's at least gonna lose its natural. Like, it can come back from here. It's got Phoenix. Those are a renewable resource, but how does it hold the ramp? It doesn't. It's dead. If it wins this game, it's a literal god. Like, it needs these units to come deep enough that it can drill every probe through, get a perfect surround, and somehow take this out. But I mean, I think it should just lose too many probes. That even if it keeps the Phoenix alive, it should be screwed here. Stop focusing the Stalker. Focus the probes. That's how you win this game. Focus the probes. Focus the probes. I mean, he's got it, right? Surely AlphaStar's dead. Phoenix seems like a terrible choice in this. Just in general, especially after scouting the proxy, it seems like a terrible choice. Phoenix are already the worst frontal fighting unit, and when you're expanding against a 1-base player, like, you're just never gonna have time. If you're 2-base versus 2-base, continuing to commit to Phoenix gets dicey. Like, you need to have really good control, you need to get the count up early. So that was just a really bad build by AlphaStar. Opening up a fast expand in PvP is not a good idea, unless you have a build that is tailored perfectly to defending. Now, it's scouted very well, but yeah, it actually... By the way, it's scouted for proxies on its way to scout, which is interesting. So it committed to the Nexus no matter what. But yeah, really bad opening by AlphaStar. In my opinion, that's just a terrible opening. People want to see the Adept micro again. I also want to look at that. Let's take a look. How does... So the fact that it chronos Adepts one at a time is like just... It's kind of odd. It's interesting. And it's like checking for proxies, right? Which is... Yeah. And now it sees it, right? This probe goes up there in a sec. Right? Didn't it see it? Did it not see the proxy? Sorry guys, I'm trying to remember. I thought it saw the proxy at some point. Did it not? Oh, it did not see the proxy. Okay, never mind. It's still dumb to go Phoenix, right? And it had nothing on the other side to actually scout. To me, this kind of confirms my feeling. Doesn't fully confirm it, but it reinforces my feeling that it doesn't scout a lot. And doesn't react to many things, you know? It's trying to just do like a generally solid thing, which is how people try to get good at Starcraft usually. So anyway, let's look at the Adept micro, guys. So let's go to its camera, see what it's got selected. Focus fires, tries to pull back, focus fires, moves, focus fires. Oh, did it just interrupt one of its shots or no? Tries to get out of range, doesn't quite get it. It's gonna shade, attack. Yeah, it's behind. It's behind, but SL's not microing, so SL just screws up the micro here. I mean, it's trying to like move and shoot, but like it doesn't really achieve anything with this micro. It's just standard move and shoot micro. Yeah, and the opponent lets the shade finish and misses an attack animation, interrupts his own attack. So still a win for the opponent though. But nothing special here. It's just pretty standard Adept micro. Does these kind of weird shades in the mid battle to try and like pull back to avoid the opponent's attacks, but also is trying to like land an attack. It seems to prioritize landing its attack over evading the opponent's attacks anyway. Of course, Mega Mech. These will all go on YouTube. I really want to see exactly what the hell happens here. Did the shade dodge the attack? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it interrupted its own attack. I can double check it. Okay, I'll stare. I'll stare. Yeah, it interrupted its own attack there. That's what happened. It just slowed its own attack down. That's all. Show you one more time. So it wasn't AlphaStar dodging. It was SL shading when he shouldn't have shaded. Check it. So you see he's about to attack. and then it just gets delayed by a half a second, and then he also walks too long before attacking again. So he could have fired a second shot off there earlier. So that's kind of what happened there. Yeah. It was just bad micro by SHRZ. So that's why often you'll try to do that. You'll try to attack, pull back, so that while you're on cooldown, you interrupt their attack if they don't micro. And then you go back in range, do your attack. So basically, if they don't micro and they just A move their adepts, you can kind of like, as they're about to attack, you pull out of range and they're like, oh, and they've got to kind of start walking towards you, and then you both attack at the same time, then you pull out. So you can end up like getting just a few more attacks in than them, just a little bit.